Colin, what's your topic?
All right, so I don't know how to express this succinctly. So just deal with me for a moment, if you will. So we often talk about IP. We talk about our movies, our favorite movies, TV shows, comic books, games, and we criticize things, right? But the reality is that we probably couldn't do any better with a lot of the things that we criticize.
Right.
But I'm curious about, and it doesn't have to be something you criticize. It could be something you love. But we criticize Game X, but we certainly could have done Game X any better. But I'm curious about what is the one thing you can identify, the one IP, the one series, whatever, that if given the opportunity to do something with it, that you're confident that you can do it better than what's being done to it right now. Like, in other words, like you could be the writer, the director, whatever you want to be, and you have the means necessary to execute on the plan. What are you confident in that you could do better than what's being done with it right now? So, for instance, I've criticized, I don't know, Arkham Knight's tank battles, but I don't know what the fuck I would do. I mean, like, I can't do it any better, you know? I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. But there's something specifically that I think I can actually do really well. But before I answer, I'm curious what your guys' answer is to that question, if it makes any sense.
It does.
It makes sense.
I don't have any illusions to making me think that I could actually do anything better than what people are doing out there. When you get up to the level of, my brain instantly thinks
Colin and Greg live.
I'm
fucking around.
I do just want to put it on the table that when Colin and I hosted, the first time I hosted it did get 10,000 concurrents, which we have only gotten those types of numbers during rare instances, namely E3 or when I host.
Those are the two things.
Those are the two things. So I do think that in a nutshell, that is one thing. But when you start talking when you get up to levels of like you're talking Batman v Superman, it is funny because you hear people criticize, right? You're like, oh, that movie wasn't good. That wasn't good. There is such a difference between criticizing someone's work and actually doing the work. There's no comparison, right? Like there's no way I could compare myself and what I do with Zack Snyder. That man is on a whole other level, right? And it takes a lot of effort and a lot of talent to make Man of Steel. Even though everyone didn't necessarily love Man of Steel. That movie was a technical marvel. It was beautifully made. The acting was superb in it. It had some minor story elements that I think if they had tweaked, it could have hit on all cylinders. But ultimately, there's no way I would say stepping in there right now, I could do a better job than him.
Sure.
It's not going to happen.
Sure.
Having said that, I think if someone went to Tim Gettys and said, Tim, I need you to write either a Transformers movie or a Pokemon movie, I would like to see either of those films.
Yeah,
not direct, just write the story for what should happen in the story of these. I think it would be hilarious to see what you come up with.
It's funny that because this topic, immediately I start thinking about what I think you guys would nail. Like, a Superman by Greg, I think would be my answer. Not that would be your answer.
No, my answer is a Superman video game.
Okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense. For you, Mega Man, I think, is the clear answer, where it's like I feel like you understand Mega Man so well that probably better than anyone, like even the people that make that game, just because it's like you are in love with it and you're in love with everything about it, which I think is what makes it important. And you also love playing it. And I think that adds an extra level of like, what do you love about playing it, not just the creation of it? So you would bring that into whatever you created from it. But then for me, it's like, I love Transformers, but it's like, I am not the right person to like, I've said this a million times. I'm not that funny of a person.
Yeah, you are.
But
You're
I know
kind of
what's funny. And like, I know how to curate things together. So it's like, that's why I'm such a big fan of lists. So I think I could do BuzzFeed better than BuzzFeed, but that's not true because BuzzFeed's fucking good at what they do. Certain lists I can do better. But my point is, I'm good at like taking the little things and putting it together into what I know is right. And in that way, I can take the aspects of Transformers, put that into one thing and be like, this would be an awesome story, taking bits and pieces of what other people are doing. But I don't think I could come up with that good of a thing. Pokemon, on the other hand, yeah, I think I do.
I bet you could. I would love to see, like, I'm not talking about the technical standpoint of writing a script. I don't that you could learn, but that's not what we're talking about. What I'm saying is, oftentimes you'll see story by this person, right? And what that really is that person just sat down and wrote the story of like, I think this should happen first, this, here's this beat. And they just wrote a, 20-page treatment or whatever it is, gave that to the screenwriter or worked with the screenwriter. And that person put it in this specific format that would then, deliver the lines. I think I think you could do that for Pokemon. And I think it would be
I think Pokemon
awesome.
would be
And I think it would be just the right amount of modern with just the right amount of fan service for the
without it
classical
being just like
without it being bad.
obnoxious.
And I think you would also be good because you are an adult who has the perspective more often than not of younger generations with that adult mindset, if that makes sense. And that's the single most important and powerful thing for a storyteller to have, especially when you're making a movie or movies. It's Brad Bird has it, for instance, right? When Brad Bird goes to make an animated movie. Well, that movie to him, I don't think is any different than if he were to make a live action. It just happens to be animated, which appeals to kids, and he has those right touchstones in the films that appeal to kids. But really, I'm going to watch Invincibles when I'm 50 and probably like, God damn, this is just a good... Credible, excuse me, not Invincibles.
Are you talking like you're 50?
What? Who am I? Where am I? I'll watch that, and it's still a phenomenal film. I think you would also write a really good Superman story. And that's what I'm saying with you with the game.
Yeah.
Technically, sure, you would be like, these mechanics don't work. But realistically, what you're really talking about is you're going to write a good experience as Superman.
One of the things, I mean, I'll eventually make it for this channel. And it's funny because Justin McElroy just did it for Polygon, like how to make a good Superman game or whatever.
But we all know he's a completely horrible human being.
He's a son of a bitch.
He's a terrible
And
he being that stole
fucking
your
needs to
idea.
get slapped around it. No, my original plan was to have the video ready when we launched Kind of Funny Games in January, but obviously the end of December was so packed. But I have a whole treatment in my head that I've actually put on the phone in terms of like what it is and where I'm going and what and it's me sitting down and explaining the mechanics and what the story is and how it all pieces together. But yeah, it would be like if tomorrow Sucker Punch called me and was like, "We want you to come up and make Infamous 3 or whatever," and we loved what you did there, right? It would be me walking in and explaining, I want this power and this is how you get it. And it wouldn't be me like designing. On
No. You'd be producing for all
yeah,
intents and
exactly.
purposes,
I'd be doing the story idea and then going from there. Yeah.
We should put that video together. You never know. Didn't you just tell me that was it Max Landis is doing a comic book run now?
Yeah, he's getting to do. Well, he did. Max Landis has his own Superman book. It's the short end of that story.
Right, but that's awesome, right? And that's him putting out that energy over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Now, Max Landis is crazy. I'd love to meet that man one day.
He was at a Geeky Century party.
Was he?
Yep.
I didn't see. I was drinking pineapple and vodkas and letting everyone make fun of me for being back in college. No shit.
I love that that's Nick's drink now. Like that's just so perfect.
Anthony's wife. The last night
was there?
Well, no, she wasn't at that party. But Anthony's wife, every single person that I ordered that around was like, "What are you, a freshman sorority girl? Are you pledging a sorority?"
You're
I'm like,
"Leave me alone. I like it."
I was really craving
Pineapple juice.
Pineapple juice. I don't know why, but that's funny. You should put that together. You never know. You never know what happens.
I want to do it right with graphics and the visuals I want to pull from comics. It's just a big project.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's a
we
cool
should
project,
probably
though.
sit down and I should make the script and we should film that part so I can start chipping away at it. But
I'd love to help you with that.
I could also
together.
just
That'd be
talk
fun.
about it forever.
You could, but talk is cheap.
That's what they say.
Actions are expensive.
Yep. Colin, what are you gonna do?
Well, there are two things when I thought of this idea, two things came to mind. First thing that came to mind was G.I. Joe, but G.I. Joe is one of those things I think that needs to be left alone. I don't think that it's relevant anymore, and I think its timeliness in the 80s and early 90s is what makes G.I. Joe G.I. Joe. But Megaman, to me, Tim nailed it. I am 100% confident that I can write and direct a reboot of Megaman and make it relevant. I am
game?
A game. I am so confident in that completely confident in it. If given the team and the means to do it, I could do it. And I'm just saying, I could make Mega Man relevant again. And my vision for it is following the story of the first two Mega Man games in one game and reversing them, and making it an open world game. So Wily and Light work together. They're friends. They create all these robots. So they make Breakman, who's Proto Man, and then Mega Man and Roll. And then Fireman, Iceman, Cutman, Gutsman, Electman, Fireman. So the robots that have applications. So Fireman is a better example is Iceman is an Arctic exploration robot, and Gutsman's a construction robot and all that kind of stuff. And they're corrupted by Wily and they're taken. But to get those robots back for Light, they have to deal with the robots from Mega Man 2. So to reverse the Mega Man games to make Mega Man 2. So basically to make two games in one, make a game longer and bigger. Wily has all these other robots that he's created, and everything would be basically individual dungeons in an open world, and you can do them in any order. And things would open up depending on the weapons you had equipped on you, because Mega Man would still steal the weapons from the enemies he killed and stuff like that. I think you can make a dark and gritty Mega Man game and make it super fucking relevant and make a lot of money for Capcom. And I would love the opportunity to write that, because I think I could do it. So for all the criticisms that we Tim's right. There are things I feel like I understand, but I would never really gamble to fuck with, I criticized BioShock Infinite, but I couldn't have done BioShock Infinite any better.
No.
You know, not even close. Like, they're visionaries. They're brilliant. I just didn't feel the game mechanics of that game. But whenever we criticize something, it's just, you know, you don't have to be able to create to criticize. I mean, criticism is important for creators. We are creators, and people criticize our work, and we take it to heart. But Mega Man is one of those things I care about and understand so deeply that I could do it. You know, like, and I would die to have that opportunity one day to like write the game. You know, let another studio make it and execute on the vision. I don't know anything about the technical aspects of. I know what goes into making a video game. I know it, you know, soup to nuts, the process of it, but I don't know how to do any of those things.
Sure, but you don't have to know how to do any of them.
Right, exactly.
To be able to like lead people who are doing them.
So like, yeah, like get a team that you because I don't have any technical skills. I don't have any artistic skills. I don't have any, you have to find the talented people that are able to do that kind of stuff. But I could write it.
Yeah,
you know, and I could lead that project. And I'm confident in that. I'm bold enough to say that. I'm totally confident that if it was executed in a way it appears in my mind, it would be fucking awesome.
Well, that's the whole thing.
It would be
like,
fucking awesome.
It's the same reason with Superman. It's that I'm just sick of people saying it's impossible to make a good Superman game and it's this hard to do this. No, like, I know how to tell that story. I know how to make it make sense. I know how to explain the opening cutscene why he can't fly to space and why this does. You know what I mean? Like, just set the limitations and tell the story. People always overlook that and assume they have Christopher Reeve in the suit, which then, yeah, he can fucking fly around the Earth the other way in reverse time. And, like, that wouldn't be the Superman we're using. You know what I mean?
All right, 2 questions for you. Why can't he fly to space?
In my game?
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you. I'll save it for the video.
And 2.
That's the thing. Is like, mine's a real video. Mine's a real whole full-on production thing.
2. Yeah. At what point do I get the awesome level where meteorites are falling from the sky and I just have to keep shooting them and going after them, and then it's the most annoying level on the planet?
Well, there's a lot of rings in my game you got to fly through.
Good.
Yeah.
I really want just all sorts of mundane challenges that prove that the flying mechanic is broken.
Sure, you got it.
Can we get that?
I'm on it. Don't worry.
Cool. And then I want not to be able to use any of the good powers ever.
Okay. Done.
Is that a possibility?
That's possible.
Great.
Because what I'm going to do in the beginning is he gets completely depowered. And so then you have to find your X-ray vision and find your heat vision. But only use them in controlled circumstances where the B button pops up.
You know what I'd like, though? Is
what's that?
Some sort of upgrade system or leveling up system where I don't actually get to be Superman until the very last level.
Sure.
And then even then, it is...
Then the game's over. You have nothing to use it on. Yeah, great.
I would like to... And no second replay. You got to just start from scratch.
Oh, sure.
There's no Game Plus. Is that what they call it?
New Game Plus.
New Game Plus. Yeah, I don't want that shit.
Game Plus.
Don't want that shit.
Okay.
One thing that I think that I actually
and also have Batman in there, but don't let me talk to him or beat him.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Something I know so well that I actually think... Because I was thinking, this is a hard topic for me because I don't think that I could do anything that well. Like... Something that I was thinking about was Sonic. I don't think that I have the answer to how to fix Sonic, but I would like to try to fix Sonic. And I have ideas. I have some things that I'm like, this might work to make him relevant again. But it's not like Colin, who's like, I can fucking fix Mega Man and like bring it back, whatever. And not that this needs fixing at all, but I would love to write a season of Red vs. Blue. Like, I know that world and I know those characters so well.
That'd be cool.
And I know all of the things that the fans would want. And I know all of the stupid jokes that were made 10 seasons ago. And how it can like come into play now, and like how the world can all work, and introducing new characters that matter, and how to grow that. And I would love to do that.
I think you'd be really good at that.
It'd be fun.
It'd be cool. You know, maybe one day we'll have to make that happen for you. You know, I know some people.
You do know some people. Yeah. Shout out to Miles, who fucking killed it in the last 3 seasons.
Very true. On the Sonic note there, and that does raise an interesting question. Can Sonic be good? Now, I'm asking that specifically to reference Colin's point, which was, I don't know that a G.I. Joe movie can be good. Like, bringing that franchise back, I don't know if that's, to use another Colin parlance, a hill worth dying on, so to speak. Just because a lot of the 80s stuff relied heavily on the camp. And they were kids. There was nothing in there for adults. So trying to make them for adults is a waste of energy, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd have to change G.I. Joe so radically that it wouldn't be G.I. Joe anymore.
Same with He-Man, right? Like they tried to make a He-Man movie, and they did it the best they could. It was kind of hardcore and gritty and weird, and like there's a lot of stuff going on in that. And you're like, well, this isn't the He-Man that I know from when I was a kid, and actually probably thank God, because that would be a really, really, really weird movie. But can they make a good Sonic property? What do you think?
I think it's possible, and that's the problem. Is I often think about this when I'm alone, just lay in my room.
I imagine you, when you're alone laying in your room, you have your phone, and there's just nothing but lists of documents open.
I mean, that's definitely true.
And you're like,
but one of those lists is how to fix Sonic.
There you go.
I don't have anything on the list, but it's
Here are
there.
10 ways to fix Sonic.
Yeah, I believe it's possible, and I want it so badly. And it's not something like
Why?
Crash.
Are you that
where
big
it's
of a
like,
Sonic fan?
Yeah, I really like Sonic, and it's one of those things where it's like there's so many aspects. My favorite thing about Sonic 1 through 3 is the overall feeling of those games. It's not the gameplay, and it's not the like level design or any of that. It's the overall feeling of the atmosphere with the music, with the time that I played it, and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that you can capture that feeling in a new game. It is not in the direction that they're even going down at all. Like
Right.
nowhere near there. And I don't even know what it could be because it's not just go back and do the same thing again. It would have to be something new, completely fresh reboot and reimagining of everything. Kill all the other fucking friends except for Tails and Knuckles and call it a day.
No.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I get so excited thinking about like a Mega Man reboot that needs to be done. You know, it's not even like an arrogant thing. Like I could do it. I could fucking write that game. You know, it's just it's one of those things where it's just like I don't know if that's something a direction they want to go in or whatever. It's just like I have this awesome vision of an open world city, Megalopolis, like the city where like Mega Man takes place, where it's just. You're going to like it's just open. You can just do whatever you want. But there's like a billion fucking secrets depending on like what you have at any given time. And I love the idea of like going to for some reason I have in my head like Flashman's stage in Mega Man 2 is like it's like blue and you know you can probably see in your head or whatever. For some reason I picture that as being like a TV studio or something you like and like that's his stage is like some sort of like game show, you know?
That's cool.
Or like Woodman is in the woods but like I picture like he's at the zoo for some reason, like in like some place and like you have to go there and fight him or whatever. Like that's the part of the city he took. Like a wildlife and Airman preserve. Would be like an airport and all and like the airport and all these kinds of things. And I'm like, this would be so fucking cool, you know, to do this. That you fight the guys from Mega Man 2 first in order to get to the guys from Mega Man 1 who are the robots you're trying to reclaim for light. Like the whole idea is not to destroy the robots in my mind. The whole idea is to get the robots back that were made. You know? Right. And to get the robots back that were made, you have to first kill the robots Wily made himself. And then then when you beat his 8 robots, then you fight the reprogrammed Iceman or the reprogrammed Fireman, but the idea is to get them alive. So that you can bring them back to light and reprogram them.
Gotcha. I love this so much. So I don't know what this could be. It's not a new show, but we should do like a mini series or something that's like called like How Cool Would It Be? And it's just your Superman thing, you making the Mega Man pitch, like just doing that and just like explain like what is the perfect thing you would make if you could.
Oh, yeah, I'd love that. Awesome. I'd love that.
Or like describe a perfect trailer for whatever it is.
Yeah.
What we would want from Fast and Furious 8. Because like Fast and Furious is another thing where I would love for me and you to come up with this story for Fast 8 through 10.
Go on that right
and
now.
Wrap it up. It ends in 10.
They got to get cars. They drive around a car.
No, but on your note, I would love for them to do that because I would love for Mega Man to be a mega franchise again. I would love it if, you know, obviously Capcom wouldn't do this, but it would be amazing if Pixar got a crack at a Mega Man movie.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, they're doing something. They're planning something with that series because it's the 30th anniversary in 2017. They announced the cartoon that's coming out next year out of fucking nowhere. And I'm like, they're doing something. Someone is making the game. And Greg came up with a good point. It's probably Capcom Vancouver that's making the game. You're the one who came up with that idea, the Dead Rising guys. And that's totally fine with me. It's just the reason I love that particular story arc of getting Mega Man 2 out of the way because those enemies are iconic. You can tell Mega Man 1 story by itself, but it's just not as iconic. You need Quick Man, you need Metal Man, you need Woodman, Heat Man, and all these guys, and you can figure that out. And then you can wedge in Mega Man 1 and just reverse them. And I think that's a really great solution to that problem. What makes me more excited about the Mega Man reboot in my mind is the sequel to it. Because then the sequel to it can be Mega Man 3 in its entirety. Like Mega Man 3's story is Wily and Light get back together and are friends again. They make a peacekeeping robot called Gamma that Wily then reprograms and tries to take over the world with. And it's this huge machine.
Classic Wily.
When's Light gonna learn? When you gonna learn, bro?
And it's like
7 or 8.
And I just love that idea of like, then once you get that origin out of the way by putting Mega Man 2 first, which is so essential to getting people's attention, and then burying Mega Man 1's story in it, which is a story of struggle between two scientists, you know, that were friends and one feels like he's being overshadowed, so he just steals his robots. But that Dr. Light still wants those robots back. Like in Mega Man 1, he goes and your idea is to destroy them, but Light, in my mind, wants those robots back. He built them and they're useful. Like they're useful robots. Like Quickman was made to kill people, or Flashman was created to kill people, but you know, Cutman was used to help like lumberjacks like fell timber and shit. Like they just have practical applications or whatever. And so he wants them back. And I like that idea of like having to kill Wily's robots and then somehow capture the other robots and get them back.
No, that's cool.
And then Mega Man 3 telling the whole story of Gamma and like their friendship again. And my idea with the which this would be Mega Man 2 in the new canon or whatever, would be that you don't even know, like Wily and Light are friends for almost the entire game, and you're not supposed to know that Wily is the one behind Gemini Man and Magnet Man and all these guys, and like they're just cropping up, and you don't know why you're fighting him until the very end when like Wily is controlling Gamma himself. And I like those ideas because NES games didn't allow you to tell deep stories.
Yeah.
But there is a fucking story in Mega Man, and it's good. You know, it's just it needs to just be fleshed out more. And I've said it before, but Mega Man's Wily, the song Wily, is fucking awesome because it is the story of Mega Man, and he's telling the story of it. And in a rap song, in 3 minutes, he tells the story so eloquently. And I'm like, Capcom should listen to this and figure out like how they can make this resonate again, because you're not going to make Mega Man resonate again until you can reimagine what he is, you know? And so, yeah, would I be able to make the game? No. Would I be able to write that game? Yes. I would be able to write it. And I'd be so excited about it. I don't want to probe too far into Greg's thing because he doesn't want to make a video about it, but I have questions about that Superman game too I'd love to ask, you know? So it's specifically how he wouldn't be able to just kill anything he ran into.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you can explain that.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested. Yeah, we should do a series where we
are made of kryptonite.
Exactly. At the very beginning, you're given a kryptonite inhibiting collar.
Okay.
And Lex only gives you so much of your abilities.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
good. That's real good.
But
man.
these are I mean these very high level questions about Superman is the reason why it's very hard to make a Superman game, I think.
I know,
because
but I always feel like that's lobbed by people who don't understand the character, and the people who do shrug and put up their shoulders, I think, don't understand the character. You know what I mean? Look at Superman 64 or whatever, like a rush project that got off the track or whatever. You know what I mean? I feel like the Superman.
But that was their solution, was to make him fly through rings and
Superman Returns, right? Well, yeah, but I mean, we're in a different day and age now. You know what I mean? And that's why it's still so surprising that nobody's nailed it or put one out that's figured out what I feel are eloquent solutions to all of this, all based on
we'll have
story.
to talk about this tonight because I'm super curious about.
I'll bring up the doc I have.
Super curious.
Super curious.